One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
So I always got more publicity than other people, and it wasn't like I was trying. In fact, I don't know exactly why. Maybe you can tell me why.
Oh, I could definitely tell you. You said a lot of wild shit.
Maybe. Maybe
he said a lot of wild shit, and then CNN, in all their brilliance, by highlighting your wild shit, made you much more popular.
Yeah.
And they boosted you in the polls because people were tired of someone talking in this bullshit, pre-prepared politician lingo. And even if they didn't agree with you, they at least knew whoever that guy is, that's him. That's really him. Yeah. When you see certain people talk, certain people in the public eye, you don't know who they are. You have no idea who they are. It's very difficult to know. You see them in conversations. They have these pre-planned answers. They say everything. It's very rehearsed. You never get to the meat of it. One of the beautiful things about you is that you freeball. Like, you get out and you do these huge events, and you're just talking, and you're making. We've highlighted you on the show many times when you did this Biden impression where he's walking around, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's funny. It's stand up. It's funny stuff. But it's like you and you were making fun of Elon one time. You were doing an Elon impression. It's great. You have like comedic instincts. Like when you said to Hillary, "You'd be in jail." Like that's great timing.
Yeah.
But it's like that kind of stuff was unheard of as a politician. Like no one had done that. And I think...
it's funny. You need at least the attitude of a comedian when you're doing this business. This is a very dangerous business, first of all. It's a very tough business.
It's the most dangerous business.
It's the most, for a job?
Yes. I mean, other than going to war and being a firefighter or being a cop, it's the most dangerous business.
It's the most dangerous. For being president is the most dangerous.
Especially you. I mean, you haven't even got to the election. There's been 2 assassination attempts. And they've brushed those out of the news like it was nothing.
Yeah, they'd rather not talk about them.
Imagine if there was assassination attempts on Biden, how hard people would be attacking the right, how they would be trying to get guns taken away from people. They would try to ramp up gun laws. They would try to figure out some way to blame you. If there was attacks if Biden got shot in the ear, we would have never heard the end of it.
But
Former President Trump is campaigning here in the Big Apple on Sunday, despite a recent poll showing him down 19 points to Vice President Harris in New York. So I went to some of New York's most famous boroughs to hear from locals if Harris has their vote locked up. And as always, I was very surprised by what I found.
I'm gonna tell you my opinion. I like this guy Trump because the last 4 years with Mr. Biden, it was big problem in economy, and we have problem with migrants, this big problem. There's a lot of people here in this area in Brooklyn, especially Arab people. They're gonna vote for Trump. Yeah.
We're in the most Muslim dense area of Brooklyn, New York, and a lot of people are saying they're voting for Trump.
Yes, Trump.
I support Trump.
You support Trump?
Yes. Trump 2024.
Where are you from?
Yemen.
From Yemen?
Yes.
And who are you voting for this year?
Trump.
Why are you voting for Trump?
Good man. It's good president.
Good president?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We need Trump back. I bet you all the Palestinians Americans in this country that they want to vote for Trump and they want Trump. I'm telling you, most of them are positive about Trump to become the president because he promised to stop this mad war. He promised that he will stop all the wars.
Do you think that Trump is better for the black community than Kamala is?
Honestly, yeah, she sent us to jail. And that's messed up because I smoke a lot of weed, man. I can't be out here getting locked up for weed, man. Vote for Trump. Best president ever.
I'm going for whoever is an advocate for promoting the right to bear arms for our community because it's not fair that the politicians get to carry like Kamala Harris. Didn't she say she carrying?
Yeah.
Right? Right or wrong? She didn't say she have her own gun?
Yes.
So what makes her different than the minority in our community too? I'm going to go with Trump.
I missed the Trump tweets, Donna. Yeah.
You missed so you like Trump's tweets?
Yeah, I love his tweets.
I'm probably going to vote for Trump. Robert Kennedy does endorse him to bring back the American middle class, that a family can support a full family on a single income home is the American dream again.
I'm not voting for Kamala Harris because apparently she just wants to put every Tom, Dick, and Harry in women's sports.
Super excited for Trump and his presidency. He's for women. He wants to bring the abortion rights down to the states as they should.
Kamala Harris is no good for us. Trump, he's our guy. Y'all want to get taxed? Get Kamala Harris. If y'all don't want that tax, y'all get Donald Trump. He's going to take care of us.
Are you going to be at this rally in Madison Square Garden?
I'll be at the rally for my boy Donald Trump. I hope he sees this, and I'm here for Donald Trump. You heard me?
Well, that pretty much says it to me. That is the exclamation point on everything. There was one part of that kind of really cracked me up, and that one part was where that one gentleman said, and basically underscored what we've been saying, all these newcomers, and these aren't the new newcomers. These are the old school newcomers. Forget the polls. As she started there, she said, oh, he's 16 or 19% down in New York. Yeah, okay. I think we're about to see two things. We're going to see the exposure and complete destruction of the polling industry. I really firmly see that. Secondly, we are experiencing the complete destruction of the media. As I mentioned yesterday, in our 5-hour-long broadcast, I didn't know if I was going to make it this morning. That's why I had to cut it to 12 instead of 11:30. But I see now he's even late for 12. So I understand how he's feeling because, man, I'm tired. Some of you guys must be tired. And let me just thank you. Thank you for all of you who showed up, left, came back, whatever. And we still had like 10,000 people watching at 5 hours later. I ended up doing some editing and getting to bed about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, man, I got to be on the air again in about a couple hours. But thank you. I genuinely thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thought we'd be empty by the time he got there, but you showed up. So the first part of that intro, you saw, I talked about, no, I didn't talk about it, but it was Joe Rogan. So today, let me just explain to you what's going to happen today. I wanted to cut the intro short so he can just get on. I figured he'd be on about 12:15. He was supposed to be on at 12. It'd be 12:15. So we're waiting for him to show up. Today, 3:30, he's holding a huge rally. I mean, a monstrous rally at Penn State University. He's going to be at the Ohio State-Penn State football game. I think the game's after. I'm not sure what time the game is, but we're going to go live at 3:30. And what I'm going to do at 3:30, so if you guys want to come back, is I'm going to give you basically the Reader's Digest condensed version of the Joe Rogan interview. I'm going to start at 3:30. We're going to do a Joe Rogan intro to the Trump rally. So it's going to take me about 25 or 30 minutes to get here and go through it all. Hopefully Trump will be a couple minutes late, and then we'll just carry on through that. But most importantly, and this is absolutely huge, I'm going to go, probably last night might have been a good workout, might have just got some feels back in, because tomorrow, the New York City rally, I am going to be starting two and a half hours ahead of the rally. We're going to go live at 3 o'clock. The reason being, he released who was speaking tomorrow in New York City. And it's all the Avengers. All of them. Except one. I don't know if I saw Vivek. Hold on, let me just make sure. I thought I saw Vivek. If I didn't see Vivek, besides him, it was everybody. Hold on, let me pull it up. Before I misspeak. Let's see here. Let me see if Vivek is on this list. Yeah, he was the one I didn't see on this list. So, here's who's going to be speaking. I mean, it's massive. You ready for this? This is going to be J.D. Vance, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds, Tulsi Gabbard, Rudy Giuliani, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Laura Trump, Eric Trump, Don Trump Jr., Elon Musk, Dan Scavino, Stephen Miller, Dana White from the UFC, Tucker Carlson, Brooke Rollins, not sure who that is, Steve Witkoff, his buddy, Howard Lutnick, the financial guy from Cantor Fitzgerald, he'll be there, Grant Cardone, Sergio Gore, Michael Harris, Tiffany Justice, Lee Greenwood will be live, Christopher Macchio, that's that opera singer who does the amazing speeches. I mean, the opera songs that he does, Nessun Dora and Dorm and all that stuff. He'll be there. And then a bunch of other people that I'm not really familiar with. But all those people will be in attendance and speaking. So we're talking an epic rally. Absolutely epic rally that Trump will be doing to basically, I thought it was going to be his final rally, but he went and added a couple more, but it's the big one. It's the big one in Manhattan, in the Big Apple, New York City. And so be here for that. So we got 3:30 today. We're going to go 3 o'clock or so tomorrow for the Big Apple rally. And we're going to take it from there. So I want to let you guys know, did you guys all... I'm sure many of you didn't watch, but I'm sure many of you heard about the Beyonce fiasco at the Kamala rally. People stood in this state, 20,000 people. Oh, it was packed. They were all waiting for Queen Bey to show up. The Queen Bee showed up, talked for 4 minutes and left. I think last night was political suicide. Absolute political suicide for Kamala. And if it wasn't political suicide then, her closing rally might just be the nail in her coffin. They are erecting this huge stage on the Capitol at the Ellipse. She is basically going to do some sort of reenactment, this huge, huge thing about January 6th. It probably will be carried live by every network. It's the last hurrah, and all I think that's going to do is just turn her into the tidy bowl queen, and she's done. She's spending all this money. Rumor has it she spent like $10 million yesterday for this rally that pissed everybody off because Beyonce didn't even sing. And then she's going to finish it off by highlighting January 6th. I don't know who's running her campaign, but I applaud you. I wish you would handle a lot of other Democrat campaigns because, damn, you're a moron. These celebrities, yeah, if you're going to pay that kind of money, you're going to get celebrities that want to show up. I mean, these celebrities show up for the millions. Yeah, they take the check. If you're going to pay someone that kind of money for a couple minutes, Lizzo got 2.3 million. Come on, man. This is absolute crazy. Somebody said Brooke Rollins, who I didn't know, because I don't want to slight anybody. Brooke Rollins is the attorney and CEO for the American First Movement. Okay, thank you very much. Barry, you should get your ducks in a row to airplay the full rally. So you want me to start like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and go all day long? Well, all right. So I'm going to put a poll up. If you guys want me to broadcast the entirety of the rally, you want to be here, you want to see 6 or 7 hours, I may go off camera and let some of it play and just stop it when I have to, because of copyright stuff. But I'll put the poll up as soon as Trump gets on stage, I'll put the poll up because I got to start typing on a keyboard. If you guys want me to do the entire thing, I'm good. All I was going to do is watch a football game, and Dolphins suck, so I'll do it if you want me to. I'm so ready for the Manhattan rally. Great speakers, and most importantly, Trump. Looks like who's coming up on the stage right now. This looks like it's going to be Stephen Miller. So let's take Mr. Stephen Miller, because this flamethrower, he's just one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. So let's hear what he has to say. And we could do this all day tomorrow, too, if you want me to just bring people up. Here we go.
Hello, Michigan. In just 10 days, the state of Michigan can send Donald J. Trump back to the White House as our 47th president. If we win Michigan, we win the White House. That's it. It's in your hands. You have the power. You have the control. You are in charge of your destiny. All you have to do is get out and vote, vote, vote. Who here is planning to vote early? Who here has already voted? If everyone in this room commits to voting early, it's that much less work to do on Election Day to get Donald J. Trump over the finish line. Get those ballots in the bank, run up that score, and show the entire world that Michigan backs Donald Trump. I want you to picture what the world will look like. January 20th of next year, if Michigan votes for Donald Trump. On January 20th of next year, the crooked politicians are out of power and the American people are back in power. The big donors, the special interests, and everybody who's been ripping you off loses their control and you're in charge again. The border is sealed shut. The illegal aliens are sent home. Our factories are brought back to our shores. The violent criminals are put behind bars. And our children are taught to love American history and American values. Once again, we will be a proud nation under Donald Trump. Now, something else very exciting, very beautiful is happening here in the state of Michigan. Something really extraordinary. Donald Trump is getting record-breaking, historic support from Michigan's Arab and Muslim community. He's going to set all-time records. And if the Muslim and Arab community gets out to vote, then that's one more reason that Donald Trump is going to win Michigan. Because guess what? Arab voters in Michigan, they want a strong leader. They want a leader they can respect. They want a man who is going to protect and defend their families and this country. And as you all know, that man is and has always been Donald J. Trump. For 8 years, they came after this man. For 8 long years, they came after this man. One hoax, one lie, one smear, one defamation, one persecution, one witch hunt, one lawsuit after another. They tried to take his business. They tried to take his freedom. And they even tried to take his life with not one, but 2 assassination attempts. And did Donald Trump Did he waver? Did he falter? Did he back down? Did he give an inch? Did he show any fear? Or did he stand up, raise his fist into the air, and shout, "Fight, fight, fight"? And now, Michigan, that's what we're asking you to do. Fight, fight, fight to the finish line. Get those votes, get those ballots, get your neighbors, organize, do the work. Deliver this state for Donald Trump. Deliver freedom for your children. Deliver a future we can be proud of. You can do it, Michigan. We will win. We will take back the White House. God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right, Stephen Miller, he certainly brings it. Absolutely brings it. So I put the poll up. You guys let me know what you want me to do, if we're going to do the entirety. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I get good sleep. Obviously, I eat well. Robin takes care of me, so I'm good. If you want it, I'll do it. It's all on you guys. Tell me what to do. So I'm not sure who is next. Somebody told me it's not Novi, it's Novi. Novi, Michigan, right outside Detroit. So basically a town northwest of Detroit. Looks like it's about 20 miles northwest of Detroit. Vote early, track your vote. Yeah, everybody should be pumped. Sandwiches and water. I got the water here. Had sandwiches early. Texas needs prayer for Ted Cruz. Are they trying to steal it down there? I have no idea. Somebody says here, Kamala doesn't have rallies. She has pander parties. Speaking of pander party, I don't understand why there was a single man in attendance. That wasn't a rally. That was a celebratory offering to the god of baby removal. The entire event was nothing but a celebration of the big A. That's all it was. It was so sick. I mean, it was one person after the other coming up, extolling what they considered to be the virtues of baby removal. Over and over and over again. And then she got exposed, and not a lot of people realized it. I was broadcasting it, and that little piece, the sound wasn't on, but we were watching it when a group of like 20 people came up on the stage, and those people that came up on the stage were all wearing doctor lab coat type things, and they represented themselves as doctors. Well, the commotion that we watched behind them, I thought somebody was protesting. No. I turned the audio up this morning, and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. So here's what happened. Somebody in the audience said, "We have an emergency. Medic, we need a medic." You've seen that at Trump rallies. Is there a medic in the house? And I'm like, there's 20 of them on the stage. And the guy who was speaking, that was supposedly a doctor, talks into the microphone. "Hey, can somebody get a doctor? There's somebody needs a doctor over here." And I'm like, oh, so none of you are doctors. You're just vacuum users. I don't want to be gross there, but you understand what I'm saying in terms of the baby removal. These people weren't doctors. They weren't MDs. It was this, when it dawns on you, when you're watching this thing happen live, and you realize all these people are supposedly doctors, and somebody's asking for medical help, what would be the first thing somebody would do if they were a medically trained doctor? Somebody passed out. Hey, they need a doctor over here. Ooh, y'all got a doctor? He actually said that on stage. And I was appalled. I was appalled that she represented to people that these were doctors, and they obviously weren't. If you've ever been at a football game or on an airplane or in a restaurant, and people say, "Is there a doctor in the house?" My wife used to be an EMT, so she would be one of the ones that would run over there. But someone with medical training, a doctor, would show up. And these 20 people on the stage didn't even move. I was completely appalled. And everything about that entire campaign is fake. It's just completely fake. So Trump's, I swear that guy likes to get some airtime. His microphone guy. Look. You guys see this guy? He comes out all the
America,
time.
where I was able to attain my wealth, I won't be able to experience that going forward.
funny.
All my kids, like his son's like 18. Baron,
look. Check 1 2. Yeah, check 1 2. Yeah, I'm the guy who makes sure that Trump's microphone is working. Yeah, that's so funny. I just find that really funny. I don't know, maybe it's because of my concert background that I know that you don't need to do that. You've got your soundboard, you got everything in place. You should be okay with that. And in fact, that's sort of what bands do when they first walk on stage, and that's why it seems like they're playing around. Is they're doing a little sound check. But I love seeing that guy come out. It's almost like letting the people know, oh, Trump's next. Okay, yep, Trump's next because I'm fixing the teleprompter and I'm fixing the microphone and getting it all ready. What's this say? Barry Cunningham. Paid actors as usual. Yeah, the whole thing was just completely staged. I'm a retired registered nurse, and that makes me sick. You should have seen it. I mean, you should see it. When they actually, the look on their face. They're introduced as a bunch of doctors. They all walk out there with the lab coats, and they're out there, again, having their Sabbath to baby removal, and they got exposed. I mean, it was amazing. Everything about her campaign is a big effing farce. Oh yeah, and it's going to get worse with this whole thing about the January 6th reenactment. You should see it. They're building this elaborate stage. Oh, it's huge. It's monstrous. Giant big screens. You know they're going to be playing the January 6th stuff on like loop. It'll be looping in the background. And they're going to have all this stuff. I don't know who's going to, maybe it's Springsteen again. Who knows who's going to show up. But they're going to have all this stuff. And all they're going to be talking about, nothing about her. Her campaign shifted a week ago. Now it's all about that bad guy Trump. You don't want this guy, bad guy Trump. What are you going to do? No, I'm going to make sure that baby removal is, the first and foremost, the best thing possible. Democrats could have codified baby removal decades ago, but will continue to use as a wedge issue in perpetuity. Yes, they will. And as long as there's enough idiots that find that to be their defining issue. That's the thing I don't understand, is that they have found enough of an audience who really believe that is how they are defined. That to me is sad. It's propaganda, brainwashing. I bet it has messages hidden in it. We all know people who have had one. They've completely removed any shame, stigma, nor should a woman feel, years later that they still are burdened with that shame. If you prayed for it and said, listen, I made a mistake, God, please forgive me, move on. But to make it a sacrament in a Democrat Party, to make it the ultimate thing that defines your entire party, that's kind of crazy. It's more than crazy. It's absolutely sick. Yeah, they are deranged. You can see some of them. And there was a segment this morning talking about deranged. There was a segment this morning on CNN, and that CNN segment had Mark Cuban and one of their hosts. And Mark Cuban got up there and lied and lied and lied. It was completely awful. I cannot believe that he is so in the tank for what they're doing. But then he exposed himself because he's got that, that pharmaceutical app thing that he runs. And he was talking about how she's going to make prescription drugs cheaper. And again, the guy on CNN just looked at him and go, why isn't she doing it? I mean, the answer to every Democrat retort at this point is, why hasn't she done it? And they never have an answer. I mean, there's no discussion. You shut them down when you say that. To the point where Mark Cuban on CNN said this morning, well, vice presidents don't do anything. They are now basically saying she was useless. In order to defend her, they have to say at this point that she had nothing, no responsibilities, couldn't do anything. So that means the first half of her campaign for the last couple of months is out the window. You are basically just furniture. They would rather her look like furniture than have to admit, yeah, she didn't do it when she could have. And now that the refrain that they're telling everybody, I saw it myself, was that she was just the vice president. Vice president can't do anything. That is now what they're telling everybody. And of course, the orcs, yes, she was just the vice president. She can't do anything. And they just suck up everything these people are saying. So before Trump gets on, let me talk to you about the people from Lear Capital. Again, get ready. Not going to belabor the point. Get some gold. Monday, you're going to see another new high. If you can't afford the gold, which that's understandable, everybody can afford some degree of silver. Listen to this. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. In fact, gold hit an all-time high recently. In fact, I think it hit it again today. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here, or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, if the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait until after the election. That could be too late. We all want Trump to be elected. But if he isn't, or if they find a way to steal it, you'd better be prepared. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. And just want to show you something, because this should explain a lot to you. Gold right now is at $2,748 an ounce, up 13 points, up 0.5%. Over here on the right, what I want you to pay attention to. This stuff here is everything as to what I'm trying to, and what I've been trying to tell people is going on. All right, you can see this now here. Hold on, let me make this smaller so you can see this. Where is it? Okay. This is the gold pricing as of right now. Today, it's at 13. It's up half a point. Over the last 30 days, up 2.33 points. Over 6 months, up 17%. Over the past year, 38% rise. 38% rise. That's making some money. See, gold usually isn't a money maker. It's usually a hedge, but it's up 38% in 1 year. So be prepared. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to belabor the point. If you'd like to get involved and buy something, go ahead and call the people at Lear, and they'll help you. I know there were some people who had some issue. I guess the people at one point had said you can't buy anything below $3,000 or actually 1 ounce. But I've reached out to them to see if they can clarify that. But in any event, you can buy silver. So waiting for Trump to come up here. Joe Rogan and Trump will be on Monday, huh? No, dude, it's live as of last night. It's everywhere. In fact, if you go to our forum, which is now over 6,000 people strong, you can watch the entire video. I pinned it to the top. I got to make a new graphic. We started off a couple weeks at 4,000 Patriots, then we went to 5,000 Patriots, and now yesterday we broke 6,000 Patriots. So just go to fanfareshop.org/group. It will take you specifically over to our private group, and you'll be able to see everything. Now, I want to talk about that for a second. There were some people who were talking, and during the pre-chat, because before I go live, there's always people who are talking. I call it the pre-chat, pre-show chat, and they're like, "Hey, when are you starting the membership?" And I'm like, "We already have it. We started it over on X." And someone said, "Well, it's better here." And I thought to myself, well, it's sort of like when you order meat at a restaurant and you haven't tasted the meat yet, and you reach for the salt and you say to somebody, "Why are you salting the meat? You don't even know what it tastes like yet." Which has been a big interview question over the past decades or so, is you take someone to lunch and you want to see what kind of person, impulse they are. Long story psychologically, but you get their food served and they immediately reach for the salt and pepper and they haven't even tasted the food yet. That's impulsive. That's not making a rational decision. You're just putting it on there because you don't even know what it tastes like yet. Long story short, saying that the YouTube membership is better is quite impulsively speaking, because you haven't seen what the other stuff is. And trust me, it's much better on X. You see, what you're looking at in the chat right now is pretty much what a membership looks like on YouTube. I mean, that's all you get. There's not much to it, and it's not interactive. But I'm going to show you something, and I want you guys to see this. I'm going to show you what it looks like inside. I didn't realize until today that I hadn't been showing anybody or any of you guys what it looks like inside of our group. So I shall do that right now. This is inside of our group. It's the Fanfare Patriots. As you can see, we've got 6,000, a little over 6,000 members as of today. All you have to do is click the join button. I have pinned the Joe Rogan. The entire interview is right there. And that's my post. And as you go down here, you're looking, these are members' posts. This isn't me. These are members who are putting in commentary, text-wise, visual, post. They're doing live streams, they're doing spaces, they're talking with each other. Ashley is running a lot of this stuff with a couple of the other moderators. And look, this isn't my content. This is yours. When you can't do this in a YouTube membership. You can, look, these are all people who are posting videos and talking to each other. This is excellent Trump ad. This isn't me. These are all members posting things and, letting people know what's going on. You can't do that on YouTube. So if you're not sure about joining, that should hopefully make you understand the huge difference. You can have a one-line comment that says, "Hey, how you doing? Have you seen this? Blah, blah, blah." And, this is what you can do on YouTube. That's it. That's the extent of what you can put in. You can't even put a link to most things. On our X group, which I had researched, I said, I don't want me doing it. I don't want a membership where two things. I didn't want to charge anybody. Other people they talk about their Patreon and they talk about their Cash App and they charge for their membership. I'm like, I don't need to do that. You guys watch enough where I make enough of revenue. I get a bunch of super chats, which really help. And I'm like, this doesn't need to be paid for. All you need to do is join. It's free. And then when you get in there, you can actually see people talking. People that you know. The mods. People are in there and they're posting things. I think Rick Adams hosted a coffee. He likes to do these morning coffees, a live space. First one he did, he had 600 people at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And they're all talking about stuff. I had to leave. Ashley had to leave. They were in there for like 2 or 3 hours. It was incredible. And you can't do that on YouTube. Rick could never host a live event inside of our channel, but inside of our group, anybody can do that. So it's really interesting, and I think you'll like it. And I don't need to pitch it. You can see 6,000 people have joined it in the last 2 weeks. It's been phenomenal. I couldn't be happier. And I thought I was going to have to be the one continually doing more and more and more content. And then within like 5 days, I'm like, oh, okay, this thing has grown and taken on a life of its own, and people are owning it. They are absolutely owning it, and they're talking about things. So that's the difference between a membership on YouTube, which is basically you getting charged every single month, and whoever the host is putting up some exclusive content, which I can do that anytime I want. If I can be in my car and go, hey, what's up, everybody, and boom, hit it on X and it's there. In fact, I did one of those to greet people, and it got like 1 million views or impressions or whatever. So just go ahead and join. Just let me put it up one more time if you haven't joined it yet. And it's so comfortable because there's no trolls. You guys can just go in there, go to fanfareshop.org/group. I just made up that URL so it takes you right to the forum. So just go there now or later. Don't have to leave now. So we're still waiting for Trump to come up. He looks like he might be the next person up. Nope, here comes that stagehand guy again. He just loves going up there. He's going to go up on stage and adjust the microphone again. So it's 12:43, and I went live at 12, thinking Trump would come on at 12:15. So you see, that's why I wanted to back it up. So pretty much, right now, we say 3:30 today. He's supposed to be on stage at 4. At least he's close by. I don't know how long it's going to take him to get to the airport. Maybe the airport might be in Detroit. And then Penn State isn't that far away, but it's a football game weekend as well. So, well, who knows? Let's see what happens. I like your show better. No, there's a show, but there's also, I post videos. So it is what it is to anyone like Rick Adams or Scott Adams. Well, we have a Rick Adams. It's not Scott Adams. It's Rick Adams, but I think he does as good a job as Scott Adams does as well. So go ahead and join him. Kamala exposed. Yeah. Thanks for allowing me to join last night. Now, you have to join, and then you have to get approved. And unless Ashley or SV or somebody else happens to be there, or myself, but I check it often, and everybody else checks it often as well. Oh, somebody's waiting right now. Somebody says, waiting for my waiting for my approval. All right, so SV, let me do this while you guys do that. Mary, there's no charge to be on X. Nope, completely free. No charge. Don't know if people know that the entire platform of X that Elon Musk has purchased. Well, there was no charge before either, but at least you can be free. You can actually say some things, which is even best. X chatters, sorry. Let's see here. Somebody was talking. Oh, okay, yeah. SV he's on right now, so he's approving as people go. Rumble videos don't play on my phone. A lot of people ask me about Rumble. I can only be in so many places at one time, and it's hard moving an audience from here to there. And so we've got 320,000 subscribers that YouTube doesn't really notify everybody. So what I'm going to be doing here is on Monday, I'm going to begin running ads to let people, just to the subscribers, just to know that a new show is coming up on X time. Some people had mentioned yesterday, hey, you're going to be able to publish your schedule. No. So what I can do is I can say, hey, a new video is posted, and I can put out an ad that just goes to my subscribers. And it's not going to be like, hey, buy one of Barry's t-shirt. No, it's not going to be that. It's just going to be say, hey, listen, posting a new ad. It's going to be up. I mean, new show tonight at 7 p.m. It's going to say this, this, and this. And that's the ad. And then you can click the button and get notified. So there's a way around everything if YouTube plays ball with it. So it doesn't cost a lot, but it's worth it because, you know, I get this many views, I have this many subscribers, so people aren't seeing all the notifications. And just a little hint, YouTube only allows 3 notifications in any 24-hour period. And what that means is if you have a show today, and you have a show tonight, and you have a show tomorrow, you can't put up a show tomorrow evening because, well, you can put it up, but they're only going to send out 3 in any 24-hour period. So by placing the ad, I can make sure that people see the upcoming shows and what they're going to be about. Once the entire Trump campaign stuff settles down and he's won, then I'm going to go back to my 7 o'clock show, news show. My notifications on X have been great for you, Barry. Now there's a different thing. On X, the notifications are firing. I mean, they're going out. So it's not nearly the same censorship, throttling, suppressing that goes on. Not over there. Yeah, it works. He's going to seal it in Madison Square Garden. I think he's got it sealed now. I really do. I just think she's not capable right now of coming back. See, one of the things with Trump that some people have been saying and realizing is that just like with any good athlete, with any good performer, you know what I mean by performer, you go to a concert, and not sure if you guys know how concerts are put together, but when you have a catalog of songs and you're not just doing the same show, you're putting together a song list, and that song list is based upon how you want to do. Usually you start out strong, then you may do some things different. Maybe you might do a couple of things that you're coming out on your new album, and then as you build, you're building that crescendo, and you want to just drive it home with a huge show, a huge song, and then you come out for your encore. But you build everybody up to that. I don't think Kamala understands that concept whatsoever. She doesn't understand the idea of finish strong. It's like her campaign just completely just collapsed in the last couple of weeks. She should have been putting her foot on the gas. Again, I don't want to give her campaign any ideas. Not that they would take them anyway, because they seem like a bunch of soy boys running around who have no clue what they're doing. You should have went out there and put her out there front and center and either expose her or make her strong, and you chose not to. You can't kind of swim. You got to learn how to swim. You got to throw someone in the deep end of the pool, and well, doesn't look like they're going to make it. Instead, they hit her and tried to finesse their way through as Trump was just hitting it and and it was almost like Trump was just waiting for his moment. Just going to keep going. I know what I'm talking about. I know what my audience wants. I'm just going to keep bringing it over and over. And it's funny when some people say, oh, he says the same thing over and over. Well, somebody had texted me today before the show that Phil Lesh, who was, I believe, the bass player and co-founder of the Grateful Dead, and he died, I think, 2 days ago. The Grateful Dead was probably one of only a few bands, maybe the Allman Brothers as well, who could show up and have a completely different set list from anything they've ever done during the middle of the show. They would be jamming, and Jerry would look over, and then they would just drop into a song. Their fusion was like, I got a little goosebumps from that. Their fusion was just where the point where they could just cue each other and just, roll. That's not how most bands do. Most bands do the same set list. They built it, and they may change a song here or there. Trump is like that band. He is like Zeppelin. He is like that band. He's a classic rock band, and he's going to play the songs that have worked for him. He's going to throw some things in here that he may be new. I mean, the whole thing with the Transformers and the Full Metal Jacket, that was new. And he threw in the video, with Kamala Harris. Oh, that was new. But for the most part, we all know what songs are going to be played today. It's not the songs, it's the performance that makes the difference. It's being able, as Joe Rogan said in my open, it's being able to understand the cadence. Many people have watched Trump perform, and they're like, oh, he looks tired tonight. Oh, he doesn't look like he's ready to do this when he's talking at a press conference or something. And I'm thinking to myself, guys, you don't get it. This man's standing on stage. Imagine him with long hair and a guitar. And he's just feeding off this audience. And if you don't have that, then you don't know, you don't feel comfortable with the joke, you don't feel comfortable with the line, you're not really sure if it worked, so you can't test out the new material, because you say that in a press conference and everybody's just staring at you like, oh, I guess that didn't work, but you don't know. So you just get monotone. Yeah, so today I'm going to go here, and this is what I'm going to do. You got any questions? Yeah, all right, good. And let me introduce you to this person. He's going to talk about that, because there's no interaction. You get on stage at one of these rallies, and now he's got an audience full of people who know the cues. Really interesting. When I'm off camera and I'm answering chat and doing different things, I already know I'm like a roadie for him. I know when he gets to the point where he says, you guys know what he says, we're going to make America blank. And I'm like, okay, here we go. We're getting ready to close up. He's closing. This is the encore. He's bringing it. That's what Kamala doesn't have. She doesn't have the ability. She's not polished enough as a performer as he is to understand there's stages of a show. There's your beginning, there's your middle, there's your end, and then there's your encore. And she doesn't. She just gets out there and tries to, say shit, and it doesn't hit, because she's not like him. And so he's got a teleprompter, and he uses it once in a while. And he'll tell you, I'm going to go off teleprompter because something may hit in his mind. So you're going to see tonight. This afternoon, when he comes out, he's got his normal box. You know what he's going to hit. You know he's going to hit Drill Baby Drill. You know he's going to hit Taxis. You know he's going to hit you. You all have heard it. But you're going to notice, if you pay attention, you're going to notice when he goes into something that's not on that set list. Because that's what an entertainer does. He looks at the audience, and he'll say something about Kamala last night. He'll say something about, we were up to this time where I was like, you'll be able to tell. That's why I think he gets the kind of rallies he does, is because nobody knows what that left jab is going to be. He's going to say no tax on tips. He's going to say no tax on overtime. He's going to say no tax on Social Security. He's going to say the new thing about the car loans being able to be written off. We all know that. I know that because I got the liner notes. I got the album. You have the album. Doesn't mean we don't keep listening to that album, because people say to me sometimes, how do you guys just keep watching the same show? I don't know. How do I keep watching The Godfather? I probably watch The Godfather once a month. I'm a nut about that. I just keep watching it. I just think it's just one of my favorite movies. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that. Why is Kamala even running? She doesn't seem like she really wants it. Because they installed her. That's exactly why they installed her. Time to bring it home. Yeah, And he knows how to do that. So they're going to have to use all kinds of props for Kamala for this January 6th soiree that she's throwing. Got to repeat it so well, sink in. Those of you who are in marketing also understand that you have to repeat something 6 or 7 times for somebody to grasp it. He knows that. He's been in marketing. I'm repeating it so that you know it. Barry, how do you know he's going to say no tax on tips, no tax on... Because he's saying it. I didn't memorize it. I didn't write it. I've listened to the album. I know when the guitar solo's coming. You know when the guitar solo's coming. So that's what's going on. Comparing the Yardbirds to Zeppelin is like comparing Kamala to Trump. Who compared the Yardbirds to Zeppelin? Nobody, did they? Let us not forget the Allman Brothers were great because of incredible talent. Harris has. Well, that's the other part of it. Hats off to you on that one. The Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers, they actually could perform. That's kind of what I've been telling you about Trump. He's a performer. She's not. She's nothing. She has no persona. She's not even someone, I bet, and we're seeing it, that she can sit down in a room full of people and they would enjoy just being around her. It was funny watching the Joe Rogan interview, and Joe Rogan and him were just they looked like two buddies just hanging out. When she sits with people, you can tell she's nervous. She was nervous on The View. Why would you be nervous on The View? It's a hometown. That should be a layup for you. It's a hometown game, and you could even do it on there. Peter, Urich, Dickie, and Barry. Talk about Dickie Betts, probably? Yeah. Okay, so we're going down this music hole now. I mentioned the Allman Brothers, and here y'all come. Whipping Post, one of my favorite Allman Brothers songs. If you ever heard that live at the Fillmore East, I'm sure if you're an Allman Brothers fan, you are familiar with Whipping Post performed live at the Fillmore East. One of the best recordings ever live. Yeah, just takes my breath away when I hear that song. Elvis made all rock and roll. Hey, again, a performer. I bet he brings up something about income tax tomorrow. I bet too. In New York City, with the most taxed population probably other than California in the country, for sure. I see. We need Trump to make it so my check as a disabled veteran doesn't get cut because of my wife's wages. Yeah, that would be really neat. Rogan said he would like to have a conversation with Kama. No, she already said no. She said, nope, not coming, ain't gonna happen. Wow, Gina, you just went. That's my music right there. That's Green Grass and High Tides Forever live, where Huey Thomason just goes off, and ooh man, that's one of my good ones there. Bet you didn't know I was a big Outlaws fan. I must have promoted the Outlaws in concert, probably only second to Charlie Daniels in the number of shows I did with the Outlaws. Absolutely loved them. They were just phenomenal. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. You know what? I've learned something from being with you guys here. You guys are music aficionados. One morning or one show, we were waiting for him. We started talking music, and the whole thing lit up. And people were trying to stop me. I'm like, no, that ain't gonna do it. Nope, know who that is. Here's a song by them. I couldn't believe afterwards. I told Rob, I'm like, man, these people are really into music. I mean, they're older, my age maybe, and I'm like, they're really into it. Mary Lou Langley, that's right, Barry. The old adage, the rule of 7, say it at least 7 times before the message sticks. And so Trump knows that, having been a master marketer. He absolutely knows that. Voting for Kamala is like wiping your butt before you poop. Oh my God, that's too funny. That is too funny. Yes, music drives the spirit. We all can relate to music. Yeah, Johnny Winter, did him in concert a couple times too. Unbelievable. Any info about? Here's something really good. Any info about the Virginia judge, other than she's a DEI nut job, saying that it's okay to leave these people on the rolls. There's probably not going to be any more info on her, because at this point what they're going to do is take it out of her hands. She did what Joe told her, or whoever told her to do what Joe told her. She did it. She said it's okay, but I'm sure they've already filed the appeal, posted it, went in, and looking for the injunction. If they don't get it from the appellate court, they'll take it right to the Supreme Court. Music for the soul. Yes, absolutely. I think we're going to hear some really good music tomorrow. I think with Chris Macchio, he's going to sing some big ones there. The Who won't get fooled again. Oh, I posted something in the forum, and it was the lyrics to a Who song, and it was regarding the Al Smith dinner, where Schumer was yucking it up with Trump, and that song I posted in the forum was Eminence Front. It's a put on, man. It's a put on, and as soon as I was watching it with people here, and I was watching Schumer looking like a troll and looking like the Penguin from Batman, and he's laughing and yucking it up with him, and I'm like, that's an Eminence Front right there. That's a put on. Come and join the party, dressed to kill. And they were dressed to kill, and it was an Eminence Front, straight up. Let's see here. Oh, well, Deborah, you just went to the top of the list right there. That's my favorite band in the world. Favorite band in the world, Scorpions. Yeah, just love the Scorpions. What sucks is how so many of your bands that you loved, they're getting old. Some of them are dying. That sucks. She absolutely believes she's a good performer. So she thinks she's a good performer because she's a actor. See, there's a difference between being able to entertain an audience and do well on camera. See, most actors are really good at what they do. They deliver their lines. They have the ability to have things edited so they can hit it just right. They can, do whatever they need to do. But if you've noticed, there's been very few who can actually get up in front of a live audience. And that's always been a real big difference between Broadway actors and actually film actors. Some have crossed over, and that is some true talent. They've been on a stage, and now you're sitting in a theater on Broadway, and your skills are a little bit up here. There's no editing. You're live without a net at that point. So it looks like people are screaming, so he may be getting ready to walk out here any second. I wonder if he comes out with Dark Mag again. That would be awesome. If he comes out with the black hat and a black coat. Here he comes. Nope, no black hat. He's got the classic red tie on. I will switch to this so you guys can see it, and then we'll go ahead and cut the song because I'm sure it's playing. God bless. All right, here he comes. Well, no dead air. Let's keep going. I was never a big Doors fan. I didn't like the Doors. Yes, I was definitely into Ministry. Yep. I think was it you who mentioned Uriah Heep before? I was like, how many people even know who Uriah Heep is? Cream in a White Room. So let me ask you a question. Somebody mentioned Fleetwood Mac. The best concert here with Fleetwood Mac was Dr. Hook in Black Oak, Arkansas. Stevie Nicks' song Landslide. You think Landslide would fit with the Trump video? Because, it's not really as hard hitting, it sounds kind of mellow, but I was thinking about grabbing the rights to that song. Trump knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, he does. All right, so he's stepping up. Let's get some volume here as soon as he begins speaking. Let me know what you guys think of the volume when he starts talking. He's still waiting for the music to play. Supertramp from the 70s. Yeah, they were good. I like them. Here's my number 2 band right there. Leonard Skinner. Give me back my bullets. Oh, and the ballad of what's his name? Clarence Lowe. That was one of my other favorite songs. Love the song Landslide. Yeah, the ladies love that song. I was trying to get, I thought about getting the Billy Joel New York State of Mind for tomorrow night and buying that, but then I realized it was Billy frickin' Joel who hates Trump. So, I'm like, I thought otherwise. He absolutely loathes Trump. All right, so he's taking the stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, and a very big hello to Michigan, which we're leading, by the way, by a lot. And I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. Last night my opponent had one of these, and they bust in people, but they got Beyonce, and Beyonce, they got Beyonce. So Beyonce went up, spoke for a couple of minutes, and then left, and the place went crazy. They booed the hell out of everybody. They thought she was going to perform. Now, I would have no interest in that, but they said, and what happened is my opponent got up and started speaking. They booed the hell out of her. It's crazy. So they have to use people to get people to come, and then they send buses. We don't send buses. Everybody comes. We're just going to make America great again. It's very simple. I thought I'd tell you that little story because you'll never hear it from the fake news. They don't talk about it. They wouldn't tell you stories like that. So I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I think so. I think so. I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, we will end inflation. And you know what? It's we, not me. We will stop the invasion of criminals into our country, and I will bring back the American dream for your children and for yourself. This is all you need to know. Kamala broke it. I will fix it. It's going to be very, very interesting. We'll fix it. I've been watching what's happening. You do know she's doing really badly, right? She can't speak. There's something wrong with her. We went through 4 years of that. We can't go through 4 more years of that. With your support on November 5th, America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and much stronger than ever before. This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure, or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. And just so you know, this is it, because we're not going to be able to save it much. This is it. We've gone as low as we're going to go. We have to be able to save it. Any longer, you're not going to be able to save it. It's going to be gone, and we're not going to let that happen to this country. I'm asking you to be excited about the future of our country. I'm asking you to dream big again for you and your family, your children. This is going to be America's new golden age. You watch. We're going to bring back those car companies to Michigan. They're going to come into Detroit. I've been hearing about promises for 40 years on Detroit. We're going to make the promise. You can have those car companies come roaring back through intelligent uses of tariffs, taxes, and incentives. Are all coming back. They don't come back, they're not going to be selling any cars in this country. Let me tell you right now. And I have to tell you, I just did something very big for Detroit and for Michigan. In particular, I killed The massive plants that were going to be built in Mexico, they're dead. They're all dead. And they were going to drive out all your damn business. They were going to take every one of yours. They were building the biggest plants in the world in Mexico. They were all, and you know who owned them? China. And they were going to flood our country with cars from just across the border, and I killed them. You know why I killed them? Because I said, we're not going to have it. I'm going to win, and I'm going to put tariffs on those cars, and those cars will never be able to pay the tariff because it would be too high. And they gave up on the project. They're not going to build the project. How good is that? And I'm not even in office. How about that? But we will be soon. So if I can do that out of office, think about what the hell I can do in office, right? And I'll tell you what, these are the biggest plants in the world. One of them is the biggest plant in the world by far. I think there's more business than your whole state would do with the autos. It's one of those things. And what I did is I said, there's no car coming in because they were going to just flood the whole nation. It would affect other states too, but I think of Michigan and I think of Detroit. It was going to end it. You've already lost 70% probably from the heyday. It's dead. And we're going to now build it up. You're going to be bigger and better with the industry than you've ever been, even in your heyday. I got a lot of friends here. I know half the people here. Your future senator, I hope. Mike, you got to win this thing. He's going to win. He's going to win. Every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is truly in your hands, Michigan. You have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala Harris, the worst vice president in the history of our country. He's the worst president, and she's the worst vice president. They stole the election from this guy. They stole it. They said, you're out, Joe, you're out. Crazy Nancy, Schumer, all of them, they went in, you're out of here, Joe. No, I won 14 million votes. You know, he got 14 million votes. Kamala got no votes, and she took over. That's a threat to democracy, right? You know, to use that term. But you're going to tell Kamala Harris that it's going to start right here. You know, if we win Michigan, the whole deal is over. You know that, right? It's all over. You're going to say, Kamala, you're no good. You did a lousy job. You destroyed San Francisco. You destroyed California. You destroyed everything you touched. You're not going to destroy our nation. Kamala Harris, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. You're fired. All right, we got to get her the hell out. If she did to you what she did to San Francisco, you don't want to have it. She destroys everything. Not a good person either. You know, I see the ads she puts in. Like, I don't have to go into specifics. Anything I did, anything I say, she puts ads in, and we're mainstream. You know what we are? We're common sense. She will put an ad in saying the exact opposite of what I believe and what I've been saying for 20 years. She's changed 15 policies in order to be able to run. Like no transgender operations for people in detention upon will, paid for by the government. She changed like men in women's sports. She wants men to be able to participate in women's sports. No, she probably got rid of that. Like, no fracking. There would be no, for her whole life, she's no fracking. No oil and gas. We don't want oil and gas. So really, how are we going to get the cars to run? When we want to go a little bit further, how are we going to get them to run? All of these things. She's changed everything over the last year and a half because you can't get elected with that stuff unless you cheat, which is, what they do, frankly. But you can't get elected. So she's changed every one of them. Remember this, nobody can change like that. If you change one policy, one thing with me, I've been consistent. I saw on a fake news show today, I was watching, they said, well, one thing you have to say, he's been saying the same thing for 30 years, it's true. They can't steal your car business, they can't take your jobs, you gotta stop. It's how I got into politics in the first place. But we're gonna bring all those plants back, we're gonna bring all those jobs back, and I've been saying that for her. She's never said that. But every single thing, and if you have her, it's not gonna happen, I don't believe. Look, I'm not supposed to say this because you gotta vote. If you don't vote, otherwise we're doing really well, we're sort of way up. But I'm supposed to say, it's really tight. But you gotta vote anyway, you gotta vote. In fact, we have a chance of maybe doing something that nobody's ever done before politically in this country, at least not for a long time, but we have a chance. But Michigan, we win Michigan, we win the whole deal, and we make America great again. You gotta get out and vote. Early in-person voting in Michigan is now open statewide, and I'm asking for you to go to votetrump.com right after this rally ends, and you're going to see something, but just go. Let me ask you, because you have the early vote, it used to be you have one-day voting, paper ballots, voter identification. Today it's illegal, How about this guy, Gavin Newsom in California? He just signed a bill making it illegal to even ask a person for voter identification. They want to put you in jail. That's the next step. No, we're gonna get this whole thing straightened out. It's crazy. You know what? Even the Democrats, it's just the politicians, the Democrats. You go to the Democrats, you take a Democrat, they don't want that. The people, the vote, they don't want that. They want to have voter ID. They want to have proof of your country. In other words, are you a citizen of the country? It would be nice to have, right? So, but Gavin Newsom in California, they signed, I didn't even believe it. I thought it was like an April Fool's Day. I said, are we in April by any chance? April Fool's Day. He comes out with a bill that you are not allowed to ask a person whether or not they have voter ID. If you do it, you've broken the law. Can you believe it? So you'll get arrested if you ask a person. This is where we're going. It's going to end, and it's going to end very quickly. So as you probably have been reading, we're setting records in the early vote in Michigan and in, I think, most of the other states. And you have until November 3rd to vote early. So you can do that, but the main thing is to go vote. You go vote if you want. How many people have voted so far? Okay, that's good. How many people are going to vote? So much for our early voting drive, right? By the way, I love that because we're already leading in the early vote, which is something no Republican has done in Michigan since they went to this ridiculous system. You know what the ridiculous system is? You have the rest of your life to vote anytime you want. Come on, the whole thing is good. We used to have one-day voting, voter ID, paper ballots. Prove that you're a citizen of the United States, please. And you know what? You'd had no problems. 9 o'clock, 9:30, you announce a woman. Somebody's unhappy and somebody's not, but there's no stuff going up to the sky, back, forth. And it would cost 8%. This is not the most important thing, but it's important. Paper ballots would cost 8% of what the machines cost. And paper ballots, how about these machines? They have the machines and they said, we won't be able to give you a vote for 6 days, right, on election night. We won't be able to give you a vote for 6 days with paper ballots. 10 o'clock in the evening, they announce. There's bad stuff going on. Why are we paying 10 times the cost for something that doesn't give you the vote for a long time? You see it all the time. They have states that are, say, we'll need a few more days. with paper ballots, you don't. You know, France went to it. They had mail-in voting. They had all this stuff. And it was really working badly. It was corrupt. And they went to paper ballots, voter ID, same-day voting. They had one day. They had 39 million votes. At the end, they had a winner, they had a loser, and that was it. Everybody went home. That's crazy. And we're going to get it back. With your help, 10 days from now. But there's a big lobby against it, you know, a lot of money made with all of the contraptions that they have. A lot of money. Not so much money made with paper. You know, the paper is it's called watermark. It's very sophisticated, actually. It really prevents you from cheating. With your help, 10 days from now, we are going to win Michigan. We are going to defeat Kamala Harris. And we are going to make America great again. And we are going to make Detroit great again, finally, after 45 years. We're going to make Detroit. I took a lot of heat because, you know, I was up here at the Economic Club. That's what I was telling you about, these massive factories in Mexico, owned by China, but massive factories. And I was here, and I wasn't that positive. I mean, you know, they want me to say, oh, Detroit's great, oh, it's so great. You know, it needs help. So I said, it needs help, and people said, oh, he wasn't positive. I can't be positive. I'll be positive within 2 years, I'll be positive. You'll see what positive is. But how the hell can you be positive? No, but that was where I called the gentleman, and I see him sitting there, the man who builds most of the auto plants. He's the biggest in the world, I guess. And I told him I wanted to see a plant a year and a half ago. He said, okay, but I'll have to take you to Mexico. I said, I want to go to Mexico. I want to see one here. He said, we don't build the big ones here because you have a stupid head of the union. This guy is stupid. And you know what? We're leading with the rank and file of the UAW. You know that. We're leaving. By a lot. Because I'm going to bring your jobs back, and I'm going to end the electric mandate, all electric mandate on day one, which is going to cause all of you to lose your job. You're going to build electric cars, and you're going to build all kinds of cars, except hydrogen. There will be no hydrogen cars. They tend to blow up, and once they blow up, you are not recognizable anymore. No, they say that's the hottest new thing, hydrogen. Does anybody they say it's so hot. The problem is when it's not hot, it's bad. It's bad. So I don't want to do that. They say for the most part, for the most part, it's really wonderful, but when it goes bad, it's over. You're not recognizable. They call the wife, please come and inspect to see whether or not this is your husband. He's lying against a tree, and the tree has a lot of red on it. So we're not going to do hydrogen cars. Is that okay for everybody, right? These guys told me, we're working on the solution. Forget it. We got enough. For generations, this state was the world capital of automotive production and one of the great manufacturing centers in all of history. You know, you were the best. You were the best. But then a lot of bad things started happening 40 years ago, actually. But your politicians have done nothing. They were either stupid or corrupt, one or the other. They were both. But year after year, globalist politicians like Kamala Harris sold you out and let other countries loot and pillage and plunder your wealth and our jobs and our American dreams. 40% of Michigan auto jobs were annihilated after NAFTA. The worst trade deal ever made, and I ended it. I ended it with the USMCA, that's Mexico and Canada, so much better. And then they allowed China, in one of their brilliant moves, to enter as a growing developing nation. You know, if you're a developing nation, you get all sorts of incentives, like things like that we have to do that they don't, including pay a lot of money. So China entered as a developing nation. Well, I think Detroit and some of our areas makes us a developing nation. China doesn't have any place like that. But they allowed them into the World Trade Organization. That did not work out too well for us, let me tell you. because they robbed us and ripped us, and I don't blame them. If they get away with it, but they didn't get away with it. I charge them more tariffs than China has paid in 1,000 years. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars they paid $440 billion or so. You know how much your other previous presidents have gotten from China? Nothing, zero, not 10 cents, not even 10 cents. The press challenged me. No, I think President so-and-so, I don't want to get into it. Oh, Obama did a horrible job. He got ripped. They said he'd come, he'd make a speech. By the way, I don't happen to think he's a good speaker, okay? I don't happen to think he's a good speaker, but he'd come, he'd make a speech, and he'd leave. They say other presidents came, they made a speech, and they left. They say Trump, he came, he looked at the books, he says, you people are being ripped off. Then he might have made a quick speech, and he said, I'll be back in 2 months, and that's what's happening. You have been ripped off. This state has been ripped off. The car business is coming back to this state, and in a short period of time, you're going to have more jobs than you had in its heyday, and it's not even going to be hard. Under Kamala, I don't usually use the word Harris because nobody knows who Harris is. They go, Harris. People say, who the hell is Harris? You ever notice that, Mr. Congressman? They say, got all the genius congressmen over there. They're very good. We only let the good ones come. We have plenty of that we don't like too much. But when I say Harris, Harris has done a terrible job. Harris is grossly, nobody knows who the hell, right? It's true, isn't it crazy? Harris, who the hell is Harris? Under Kamala, the U.S. has lost nearly 50,000 manufacturing jobs this year alone. You didn't know that because the fake news, whoa, you got a lot of fake news. You got a lot of bad ones back there, too. Whoa. That's a lot of fakers. You think they'd want their credibility back. When we show clips, they never showed. A friend of mine called up 2 weeks ago. He said, I love your rallies, but I'd love to see. We do some really pretty good clips that are good up there, beautiful screen. So you take a look up there, take a look up there. No. So all they have to do is take the camera, go like this. 2 inches over, 1 inch over. And the people at home can see it. Right? And the people then at home can see it. But they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. No, you watch. No, friends call up, they say, I love your speeches, but when they're playing the tapes, they never show it. All they have to do is turn the camera about 1 inch, 2 inches over, 1 inch up. It goes like this. And they could see it, but they don't want to do that because they don't want to see it. They don't want to have people see it. U.S. car sales are down 38% since I left office. Good job. Good job, Joe, you sleepy guy. I almost said something bad. That would have. Oh, I was so close. I was so close. But I think of Franklin Graham. Franklin Graham's a great guy. Does a great job with all of these horrible hurricanes and tornadoes and everything. And he said, he wrote me a beautiful letter. He said, President, I love your stories. You speak so well. I love it. It's so great. But, sir, it would be even better if you didn't use foul language. And I felt so guilty. I felt like, oh, that's a kill. That was in the last paragraph. He's telling me how great. Then he said foul language. And I gave it a shot. You lose a lot of emphasis. And it's not real bad stuff, but you do. I said, Franklin, I think you're wrong, and I do it sometimes that way, and I haven't been able to get quite the same emphasis, but I feel better about myself. I almost blew it right there, almost. Would have been much better if I did, but then I would have had to report to a higher authority. But with victory in November, we are going to take back what is ours. Standing before you today, I am proclaiming that by the end of my term, the entire world will be talking about the Michigan miracle and the stunning rebirth of Detroit. We'll bring back the auto industry greater than it has ever been. I'm not saying a little bit. We're going to bring them back, and if they don't want to build their plant here, you know what they're going to do? They're not going to sell cars here. China will not be building those massive plants in Mexico. Vote Trump, and you will see a mass exodus of manufacturing jobs from Mexico to Michigan, from Shanghai to Sterling Heights, and from Beijing to Detroit. Starting in January, we will give our companies the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs. We have more liquid gold than anybody. You know, we were energy independent. 4 years ago, we were energy independent. We're going to give them the lowest regulatory burdens, free access to the best and biggest market on the planet. But you know what? If we're not smart, we're not going to have the biggest and best. We're going to be like Venezuela, like all these other countries that went radical left, socialist, communist. We'll be just like them. The centerpiece of this plan will be a 15% made in America corporate tax rate, cutting the tax from 21. So if you remember, I cut, and everyone said it was impossible, I cut it from almost 40% to 21%. So now it's 21. Got it approved by Congress, if you can believe it. And those people helped me right over there. But we cut it from almost 40 to 21. Now, and that made us very competitive with other countries, because, you know, we're competing against all these other countries. And, you know, we can say, let's make it 70%. That's okay, but everybody leaves and you have no jobs and you have a dead country, because we have to compete against Japan and against China and against South Korea. We have to compete. But now what I'm doing is I'm taking it from 21 to 15%, but only for those who make their product here in the USA and hire American workers for the job. You're going to see something. They're going to come floating back when they say, gee, we're not allowed to sell cars in the United States anymore. It's not a question of allowed. They're going to have to pay a big price for them to rip off our companies, steal our jobs, and sell things. If they want to partake in this market, we're going to make it the greatest market in the world, then they're going to have to pay a price. And the price is either a stiff tariff or you don't have to pay the tariff. You'll build the plant in the United States and you people are going to run the plant. And if these companies don't make their cars and products here, then they will pay that tariff. And when they send their product into the United States for the privilege of competing with our workers in our cherished and now protected factories, they're going to be cherished and protected companies. We're going to protect those companies. We're not going to let those companies be underbid and all of the things that they do to destroy them. And then they come in and they have the prices twice as high. Not going to let that happen. And we have an advantage over, because other countries do that, but we have an advantage because we have the best market. We will also pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. You know what that is? That means that if China or any other country, and there are many of them, most of them, charge us a 100 or 200% tax, then we will charge them likewise a 100 or 200% tax in return. It's called an eye for an eye. And you'll see them drop those numbers against you. You'll see everything start to work like it should. These pro-worker policies are among the many reasons why I've been overwhelmingly endorsed by the rank-and-file membership of the Teamsters. We have Teamsters here. And it's one of the reasons that we have incredible support from the workers at the UAW. They think that they're very smart. They're very smart. They don't want to make all electric cars because they know all electric cars within 2-3 years are going to all be made in China. They're going to all be made in China. And they're great. They're great. And we love Elon Musk. There's nobody like Elon Musk. But he understands this. You got to have choice. You want choice for schools, actually, and you want choice here. And you want choice in the military when you can, if you can't get a doctor, we call that choice too. We did that too. We did a lot. But you know, I just saw a man in the audience who is incredible, and he was so proactive for Trump. And he's a UAW member. It's Brian Pennybecker. And Brian, if he's around, I want to get him up here for a second. Where's Brian? Come here, Brian. Come with these arms. Look at the arms on this guy. Look at the arms on this guy. Thank you, Mr. President. I saw you out there.
Thank you, Mr. President. Listen, I met Donald Trump, I told you in the pre-program, 8 years ago in this very building. I said, if you come to Macomb County and ask for the auto workers' support and you get it, you might win Macomb County big enough to carry the whole state. Guess what? That's exactly what we did. Now listen, I've got about 150 co-workers here with me. You see them in my red t-shirts. Make some noise, guys. We got 10 days left. And I'm not here to try and convince you who to vote for, because we know who everybody in this room is voting for. What I am here to do is to send you out of here to go home and talk to 10 of your friends, neighbors, co-workers, and family members and make sure every single one of them vote, because our industry, the automotive industry, is on the line, and it's not going to die on my watch while we got this man running for president.
Thank you, Brian. Look at the arms on that guy. Boy, oh boy. Do all auto workers have arms like that? You see, he just grabbed me, and I think I need a doctor. Thank you, Brian. Great job. That's great. Well, he means it. It's from the heart. Brian doesn't work for me. I don't know Brian, other than I know that we have the same thing. We want to see the auto industry not leave this state and this country. We want it in the country. And if they choose other than Michigan, we can live with that, but they got to be in the United States. But I think they're going to choose Michigan. You have a lot of assets like the center location, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to thank you, Brian. You're really a patriot. Amazing. Amazing guy. And those auto workers listen to him, too. They listen to him. They get it. They get it. You have a union head that doesn't get it, but I'm sure he's a decent guy, but he doesn't get it. We want these companies coming back to this state, and ideally, I'd love to see him. Look, I've got to be equal to I'd love to see him come into Detroit, though. I'd love to see him. You have so many assets, and we're going to work on it. That's what we're going to do. We are going to make it a miracle. We're going to make the state a miracle, and we're going to make Detroit a miracle, and it's going to happen, and it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. If Kamala gets 4 more years, she will obliterate our economy, kill millions of jobs, and destroy your family's finances. She'll also kill thousands of people. Her border policy is so bad. Open borders, anybody can come in. What she's done to our country at the border is horrible. What she's done to us. And I say, inflation is rated number 2. The economy, which I think is basically a part of inflation, is rated number 1 in terms of the most important thing that people vote for. Number 3 is the border. I disagree. I think the border is actually number 1. And the inflation's horrible, right? Because they're allowing murderers and drug lords and prisoners. They're emptying their prisons. And I think it's number 1. But her inflation nightmare has already cost the typical family over $30,000 in higher prices, and now she wants to raise the typical family's taxes by nearly $3,000 a year. Think of that, right? She's called the taxing queen, and she's demanding a shocking 33% tax hike on all domestic production. You know what that's going to do? That's going to drive everybody into other countries because they're all competing for our companies. We can't do that. She's a stupid person. We can't do that. Take a look at this.
Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax bill.
Calling for a full repeal of President Trump's tax cuts.
If Kamala Harris was elected president, there are many different tax policies which could cripple the economy. But the first thing she wants to do is allow these Trump tax cuts to expire.
Even the New York Times admits that 85% of the middle class got a tax cut.
Americans will face a hike. The Tax Foundation finding that a couple with 2 kids making $165,000 a year would have to pay over $2,400 more in taxes.
And on day one, I will repeal that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to work to get rid of that tax cut. Joe and I are about to get rid of that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax cut.
Everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic. We've got to increase the corporate tax rate. Part of that is going to be about repealing that tax bill that they just passed. And also looking at estate taxes are going to have to go up. We will tax capital gains, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes.
Taxing unrealized gains just doesn't seem fair in any sense of the word.
When the value of your home goes up, you pay higher taxes even if you don't sell your home.
Your value of your home never moves the way the stock moves to say, we're going to tax what you don't have. That's a sore point, and it's a big deal. Is that something you think she firmly believes in?
I think it's part of the proposals of the campaign.
Under my plan, there will also be a carbon fee. There has to be some connection between the fee and bad behaviors, and there has to be, and that we have to monitor whether it's going to be passed on to consumers. But I'm going to tell you that should never be the reason not to actually put a fee, and in particular, a carbon fee.
See, now the camera didn't show that. So for all of you at home, you're going to have to come in and watch in person. Can you imagine? It's so nasty. They're so nasty. They're so evil. They are actually the enemy of the people. They really are. It's so evil. But you see this. How about a tax on unrealized gain? Think of what that means. We're going to tax something you haven't even taken. They're going to put a tax on an unrealized gain. Think of this. That's a new one, even in the world. That's a new one. It's called communism. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small business, and we will have a few things that I think you'll like. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. Think of that. Those beautiful benefits for our seniors. And as a senator, Kamala voted to impose a 100% ban on gas-powered cars and trucks. Thank you, Kamala. And she doesn't know a thing about it. She doesn't know a damn thing about it. She voted to a 100% ban, which would kill an estimated 200,000 U.S. auto jobs. Please tell the head of, Brian, tell the head of your union that, please, would you do? Can you imagine? She wants to ban gas-powered trucks, things. That's just, there goes, oh, it's gone. Well, it's not gone, it's going to China. It's all going to China. China will make them, don't worry, they make anything. On day one of the Trump administration, I will terminate Kamala's insane electric vehicle mandate, and we will end immediately the Green New scam once and for all. You know, Mr. Congressman, the Green New scam, in her ideal, you know, this was done by AOC, you know that, right? AOC plus 3, I call it, because it's like one person. She has absolutely no experience with the environment. Oh, have you studied? No, I haven't. Have you taken a course? No. But she's telling us about the environment. She has no idea. It's the Green New scam. In their ideal world, what they want is $93 trillion. You know that, right? They want buildings in New York taken down and rebuilt without windows, because a window is environmentally unfriendly. I guess the sun goes through and creates a little warm feel. I like nice and warm. Oh, it's so beautiful. I want a window in my apartment. Oh, I want to see, I tell you, I have some, you get some great salesmen in real estate. I want to see somebody sell somebody an apartment without a window in it. Those would be seriously good salesmen. But no, these people are for real. The cows are going to disappear. No more cows. No more anything. These people are crazy. So it's 93 trillion. That's more than China, the U.S., and every other country has for 30 years. They're nuts. We had the cleanest air for 4 years of any country by far, the cleanest water. That's what I want. I want clean air, clean water, and jobs. I will make interest on car loans. Wait till you hear this, Michigan. I'm going to make interest on car loans. Nobody's even thought about it, but your favorite president. Fully tax deductible. Nobody thought of it. But there's a there's a but. Don't get too happy yet. But listen to how smart it is. Look, it's like the paperclip. 129 years ago, a guy came up with an idea for the paperclip. Everybody then said, oh, I could have been rich if I only thought of it. Why didn't I? This is the same thing. Make it fully deductible, but only for cars made in America, because affording a car is a part of the American dream. Pretty good, right? What do you think about that, Isa? No, but think of that. Nobody thought of that. Number one, they didn't think about making it deductible. You know what that's going to do to the automobile business in Michigan? If I give deductibility on interest payments, that's going to be, but now I say deduct, but then I said, well, wait a minute, supposing they buy a car made in Japan, what the hell good does that do us, right? So I added a little caveat, but only if the car is made in the U.S., okay, which will be here. And I had a call from some of the smartest guys on Wall Street. These are, 182 IQ stuff. Unlike Biden and Kamala. They're low IQ individuals, very low. But I was talking to 182 guys. That's about top of the pack. And they said, where the hell did you come up with that idea? It's so simple, right? And they loved the second part, but they never even had the first part. Nobody told me about it. It's just an idea. Nobody told me. And then I said, it's so good. That's going to cause car business in this country to boom. And you can have the American dream, because you don't have the American dream without a car for your kids, et cetera, et cetera. So we're very proud of that. So there's two things for you. Well, I think the overtime is great for all these guys, friends of Brian's. I think the overtime, no tax on overtime. We will quickly become energy independent as we were 4 years ago. And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. And we're going to cut your energy prices, because people are all saying, oh, it's too. They've already done the damage, They've done the damage at the border. They're saying, oh, we're trying to stop. Oh, they had nothing. In the meantime, there are planes flying overhead loaded up with illegal migrants. These people are bad. They're sick. I don't even know. Normally you know why people are doing things, even on the other side. You don't. Who the hell wants an open border? Who would want it? Unless you hate the country, you're stupid, or you want those people to vote. It could be the third thing, but boy, that's a big price. But I'm going to cut your energy prices in half within 12 months from January 20th when we take off. 50%. And that's going to lower the cost of everything, because we have to bring bacon and eggs and everything. We have to bring it down because they're all record-breaking. They've already done the damage. Just like they've done the damage with all of the criminals they've allowed in. We have to get them out. As we restore our economy, we will also secure our borders. Over the past 4 years, Kamala Harris has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon the people of the United States. It's true. It's true. It's not even believable. The worst people in the world. I used this term yesterday for the first time. I just thought of it while I'm up here. I think of a lot of things when I'm up here that are on this stupid machine. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a frickin' teleprompter? Isn't this nice? But I use this term. You know, I always said we're the dumping ground for the world. Yesterday I said, we're the garbage can for the world. We're a garbage can. We're like a garbage can, and they dump their criminals, their people with tremendous mental problems from insane asylums, from mental institutions. They're drug dealers. They're gang members. They're jailed. They're prisoners. They're going to open their jails. They've already done it, but they haven't completed it. I would have done it faster than them. I'll be honest. If I ran one of those countries, one of the many countries, they come now, a lot of them coming in from the Congo in Africa. They open it up. They bring them to the southern border, and they throw them into our country. They come from jails in the Congo. They come from jails from all over the world, the Middle East. A lot come from South America, but it's not just South America. She's eradicated our sovereign border, and she's unleashed an army of migrant gangs who are waging a campaign of violence and terror against our citizens all over our country. And you see it. All you have to do is pick up your paper. They said, oh, these are wonderful people. You know, the American dream. It's wonderful. They didn't know that they killed 5 people each. Kamala has imported an invasion of criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums, and mental institutions. That's pretty much the same thing, insane asylum being a number of steps up. All from around the world, from Venezuela to the Congo, and she's resettled them into a community near you. Oh, it's how lovely. All to pray, and this is what's going to happen, and it's happening. They're preying on innocent Americans that did nothing wrong. One of the deadliest and most vicious gangs anywhere in the world has been imported by her open border policies, which are ridiculous. Into our country is the savage Venezuelan prison gang. These are lovely young people that met in prison, some for murder, some for other things. The name is Tren de Aragua, and it's taking over apartment complexes and unleashing a violent killing spree in Aurora, Ohio, in Aurora, Colorado, and it's all over the country. It's no longer just in Colorado or Ohio. How about Ohio, where you have in Springfield, they set 32,000 illegal migrants into a 50,000 person community. You can't get into a hospital, you can't get into a school. This is what they've done to us. But this one gang from Venezuela, probably the most vicious in the world, them and MS-13, the Border Patrol. Oh, by the way, Border Patrol endorsed me last week, gave me the strongest endorsement. And in the endorsement, they said she's the absolute worst, and you cannot let her become. You had to see their endorsement. I like the second part even better than the first. She's the worst. But they've taken over, this gang has taken over Times Square in New York City. Let's take a look.
Open borders, deadly consequences.
Border crisis. Record high crossings are putting a strain on cities across America. It is a full-blown invasion.
Armed Venezuelan gang members storming an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado.
And when people talk about migrant crime, this is what they're talking about.
San Antonio, Texas, just one of the latest cities to have apartment complexes taken over by members of the Venezuelan gang.
Biden and Harris had created a program to bring them in under humanitarian parole.
I am in favor.
Into the United States.
My 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered in her own room. Kayla's murderer was apprehended by Border Patrol crossing illegally into the U.S.
Kayla's murderer had been improperly released into the United States.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah, we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
More than a dozen people suspected of being Tren de Aragua gang members right here in San Antonio.
The gang gang members had been terrorizing the apartment complex.
New details in the murder at Lake and Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national.
And was paroled and released into the country by the Biden administration.
If they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
Martinez and Angel wrapped his arms around Jocelyn's neck, took off her pants, and climbed on top of her. Later strangled Jocelyn to death and then tied up her hands and feet.
Court documents suggest a group of men arrested for beating and robbing a Dallas woman last month are members of a Venezuelan street gang.
The men threatened to cut off her fingers if she did not cooperate. Manuel Hernandez was booked by Colleyville police just 2 days earlier and released the day before the robbery.
A Peruvian gang leader who is wanted for 23 murders. He was arrested by Border Patrol near Roma, Texas, then released into America. By Border Patrol near Roma, Texas, then released into America.
That's what we're letting into our country. It's not going to happen for long, let me tell you. It's going to be the other way. The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. And to expedite removals of Trende Aragua and other savage gangs like MS-13, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. We had to go back so far, because that's when they ran a strong country. Had to go back a long way. 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. Gives us total power to do it. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. Kamala Harris is so incompetent and so unfit that she is obviously disqualified from being president of the United States. All you have to do is take a look at what she said the other night on CNN. They had a town hall. Even Allison Cooper was embarrassed by it. He was embarrassed by it. She was terrible. It can't be the president. Can you imagine her dealing with President Xi of China, Putin of Russia? I'm going to meet Putin today. She will destroy our country. Everyone knows it. No one respects her. No one trusts her. No one takes her seriously. From humiliating our country in Afghanistan, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, to the war in Ukraine that would have never happened if I was president, to the nightmare on our border, to her inflation catastrophe, to her egregious hurricane response, the worst response since Katrina, maybe worse than Katrina. North Carolina, all over the place. Those people, nobody even showed up. You know why? They spent all their money on illegal migrants. They don't have any money in FEMA. Kamala Harris is a train wreck who has destroyed everything in her path. And by the way, October 7th in Israel would not have happened either. Those people that were slaughtered would not have happened. They'd be living today. They'd be home with their parents or with their families. Kamala is campaigning with Muslim-hating warmonger Liz Cheney, who wants to invade practically every Muslim country on the planet. And let me tell you, the Muslims of our country, they see it and they know it. Her father was responsible for invading the Middle East, killing millions of Arabs, millions. And this is the one that Kamala is campaigning with, and I know Cheney very well. She lost by the biggest margin in the history of the United States Congress. She lost by almost 40 points. No sitting congressperson has ever lost by even close to that amount. And now she's a primary endorser. You know, it's going to be very interesting on some of our basic issues. See if you can put those two together. They're just trying to win. They'll do anything to win, but that ain't going to work, that combination. But she's a warmonger. To make Kamala president would be a gamble with the lives of millions of people. She would get us into World War III because she's too grossly incompetent to do anything about it. Your sons and your daughters will end up getting drafted. They'll have a draft. Oh, she'd love a draft. All she wants is war. The reason I don't get along with her is because she wanted to invade every damn country that she looked at. She's a dope, like her father is a dope. This person cannot be president. She's too weak, and she's too foolish to represent America on the world stage, Kamala is. On top of it all, Kamala says she would not do one thing differently from Joe Biden, which in itself is disqualifying. Think of it. He's got a 90% disapproval wrong way. And she said, I wouldn't do anything different. That means she can't run. Take a look.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past?
Evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
Two men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking two New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition.
U.S. inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities saying Train de Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the U.S., has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
The U.S. has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
So, nobody really knew her, but now they're learning her and her polls are crashing. She is crashing. Gotta crash. Can't have her as your president. Kamala's angry and bitter campaign is alienating voters nationwide. Oh, they lie so much. They lie. They lie so much. How about McDonald's? I worked so hard at McDonald's. She didn't work at McDonald's. She never worked there. They never saw that. The manager of the store said she never worked here. She never worked. She's a liar. She's a liar. And I told you before, every commercial she does about me, it's the exact opposite. Our campaign is bringing together all Americans who want a better future for our country. That's why we are building the biggest, broadest, and most diverse coalition in American history. There's never been anything like this. By the way, MAGA, Make America Great Again. This is the greatest political movement by far in the history of our country. That's all. We include union workers, Border Patrol agents, police and firefighters. They've all given me their endorsements, by the way. The police, the firefighters, even the firefighters union, they've never done it before. They gave me what they love Trump. They like Trump. They've always gone Democrat. You know, it's like a bad habit. You know, that's happened year after year, Democrat. Then they meet me. They say, we like that guy. But all veteran steel workers, like Brian, what he does with his hands. Brian, does every auto worker have arms like you? I don't know, because I'm going to be an auto worker pretty soon. Are they tough? Okay. Oh, they are. Oh, they are. So we're seeing historic levels of support among blacks, Hispanics, and Asians. And let me tell you, these people coming into our country, and you're going to see numbers that they should release now. They have them. They're destroying the black population jobs in this country and the Hispanic population jobs in this country. And they don't want to put out the numbers now. They want to wait 11 days till after the election is over. She's allowed these people to come in. They're taking the black population job and they're taking the Hispanic jobs. Jews, Catholics, evangelicals, Mormons, Muslims are joining our cause in larger numbers than ever before. And now the most wonderful thing is happening. We're winning overwhelming support from the Muslim and Arab voters right here in Michigan. Can you believe this? It's great. And earlier today, I had an incredible meeting, a great meeting. You know what they want? They want peace. They're great people. With a group of Muslim imams. And like everyone here today, Muslim and Arab voters in Michigan, and you know, they're going to be they could turn the election one way or the other. I think we have it anyway. I'm telling you, we have so many votes, but we got to get more. We got to get more. But the Muslim and Arab voters in Michigan and across the country want a stop to the endless wars and a return to peace in the Middle East. That's all they want. Like we had under President Donald J. Trump. Have you ever heard of him? We had him. They want strength in the Oval Office. They want law and order. They want common sense. They're not into the transgender operations. They're not into men playing in women's sports. They want a booming economy, and they don't like Kamala's plan to provide free sex change operations for inmates or illegal migrants in detention, or secretly change the gender of our children in school without even parental consent or knowledge. I'm thrilled to accept the endorsement. Nobody thought this was going to happen. Nobody. Because this is a great group of people, but they always were Democrat. But they look at her and they say, forget it. I'm thrilled to accept the endorsement of these highly respected leaders. These are the leaders. Today, I'm also honored to be endorsed by a very special person. And I'm going to ask if I could, all of my friends to come up from the Arab and Muslim part of Michigan. And I'd like to give them a big hand because they're going to vote for us and help us win.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, Michiganders. As the president said, we just had a positive meeting with President Trump. We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war. We are supporting Donald Trump because he promised to end war in the Middle East and Ukraine. The bloodshed has to stop all over the world, and I think this man can make that happen.
She's so done.
I personally believe that God saved his life twice for a reason.
Y'all understanding the significance of this?
I believe personally that God has saved his life for a reason, which is to save the lives of others. We support Donald J. Trump for his commitment to promoting family values and protecting our children's well-being, especially when it comes to curriculums and schools.
Somebody better do a wellness check on Ilhan Omar.
We as Muslims support this man because we believe that he will be a president for all Americans, embracing every race, color, and religion.
Wow. Wow.
We are with President Trump because we want a strong border. And we agree with President Trump that anyone who wants to come to this country is welcome, but he has to do that through legal pathway. We are with President Trump because we want a strong economy. Don't you want that? We are with President Trump to make America great again through peace and justice for all. Lastly, Michiganders, I have 2 predictions for you for the next 6 months. Are you ready? Number 1, the Detroit Lions will win the Super Bowl. Ready for the second prediction? I can't hear you. Are you ready? The second prediction is Donald J. Trump will be the 47th president of the United States of America. Okay? All right, God bless you all and God bless America.
God bless America. He just said, God bless America. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. You know, earlier I was telling you guys about difference in the programming and different things, the new songs you put in a program as you're headlining a show. That's a different song. We haven't seen that before. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that great? They want peace. These are very good people. I want to just thank them. And that means so much. Those are the most respected leaders, and I just want to really thank them a lot. A lot. That's going to go a long way to helping us secure victory in this great state, too, let me tell you. I have a lot of great people. And that's going to go a long way. Today, I'm also honored to be endorsed by the mayor of Dearborn Heights, Bill Bazzi's great guy. Come on up, Bill. Come on up, Bill. He's an engineer who worked at Ford Motor Company, served in the Marine Corps and the Marine Corps Reserves for 21 years. He became his city's first Muslim mayor, and he's a terrific man. Thank you.
Hello, Michigan. We had a lot of great speakers before me, so I don't know if I can top what Brian said and also what the Imam said. But I can tell you one thing, you know, just based on my experience. I was born in Bint Jbeil, that's South Lebanon. And we immigrated to the U.S. at age 12. When I came to this country, just a few years after, I decided to join the Marines because I want to give back to the weather. And also, I retired from the Marine Corps. I worked for 2 corporations, Boeing and also Ford. But one of the things that I've seen, one of the things I have never seen the devastation that we're seeing right now. You know, when President Trump was president, it was peace. We didn't have any issues. There was no wars. He didn't create wars. He was actually trying to withdraw our troops from overseas. You know, one of the things that was really upsetting, in my city, we suffered flooding in 22. And I asked for the National Guard to come and help us because most of our city was underwater. But I was asked, we can help you, but there's a price tag to bring the National Guard to help Dearborn Heights. That's pretty sad. We're sending billions of dollars overseas, but yet we can't take care of our infrastructure here in the United States. Yeah. And this is the reason why I support and I endorse President Trump, because we're going to stop the wars. We're going to make the United States safe again. And also we're going to make the world safe, have some respect, around the world when President Trump become the 47th president. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. What a nice endorsement. These are great people. I also want to thank a man that's been with us right from the beginning, and I have to call him out, Mayor Gallup of Hamtramck, Michigan, for his early and strong support. And he's an incredible guy, and he was right up there in front months ago, and I just have to tell you, he started this whole thing a-rolling. So I want to thank the mayor and want to thank everybody that's here. It's a beautiful thing to see. We're going to set an all-time record with the Arab and Muslim voters, which you probably noticed. I saw that on one of the fake news networks last night. They were going over the polling, and they said, this is a little strange. The Arab Americans, Trump 59, Kamala Harris 8%. And that was before these great endorsements, but you had to see these announcers, these anchors. Is there something what's going on? Is this true? It's true, more than true, because we're gonna do something. We're gonna treat people properly. We're gonna end those wars. They want peace. We want peace, everybody. You don't want your sons and daughters. That'll be next. They'll be drafting your sons and daughters to go over there. But I want to thank everybody. That was an incredible moment. I also am pleased to be joined by a very special man. He's going to be your next senator. He's killing it in the polls. He's against somebody who doesn't have what it takes. So I just want to say hello to Mike Rogers. Mike, thank you very much, Mike. You want to come up? Come. And I'm going to tell Mike, say a couple of words, and he's got a big speaking engagement. I said, Mike, say a couple of words and it will be okay. Get out of here real fast and go make your speech, because we have to win. He's heard me speak before, and he'd love to do it again, I'm sure, but we have to win. So you say a couple of words and then you skadoodle, okay?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Good to see you. Last night, the president was up in Traverse City, and I can't tell you how important this is. I talked to cherry farmers up in Traverse City. Because of the dumping that's been happening on America between Chinese and Turkish cherries, they were telling me, you want to go to the cherry festival in a few years? Guess what? You'll be eating Chinese cherries, not Michigan cherries. I know a guy that's going to help us fix that. Donald J. Trump. We are not going to lose our cherry industry in Michigan when you become president, Mr. We lost in the last 4 years 20,000 manufacturing jobs under Democrat policies coming out of Washington, D.C. 20,000. I know a guy that's going to help us fix that. Donald J. Trump. So listen, the stakes are high, but the choices are very, very clear. We are going to have a wide open border, or we're going to have a closed and secure border with Donald J. Trump and a Republican Senate. You're either going to have high gas prices, high grocery prices, a higher cost of living, or we're going to get an affordable life back again under Donald J. Trump and Republicans when they take the United States Senate. We are going to have a wide open border or a closed border. We need you to get out there and elect Donald J. Trump and Mike Rogers to the Senate. We are going to get America back on track with your help. Thank you, Mr. President.
He's a good man. He's going to do a great job. And she's terrible, by the way. Terrible. A rubber stamp for the radical left. We have another warrior, John James, Representative John James, who's fantastic. Thank you, John, very much. Thank you, John. He's doing great, too. Lisa McLean. Lisa, what a job you do. She is so tough and smart, and she loves this place, don't you? Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. And a person from a little other state, but he's so important in Congress and such a warrior, I had to introduce him. Darrell Issa. Darrell, thank you. Great job, Darrell. He's a patriot, warrior, and a House candidate who's going to win. I looked at a poll. Tom Barrett is going to win, and he's going to win big. Going to win very big, Tom. Great numbers. Michigan GOP Chairman, Ambassador Pete Hoekstra, who's my friend. I said, Pete, you got to take this job. And the job he's done is amazing, and I want to thank you, Pete. I want to thank you. And we're winning tremendously. We've never, I don't think we've ever been in a position like this where we're winning everything. And you know why? Because they're so bad. We're good, I mean, we're really good, but they're so bad. And we can't let that happen. Because our country can't take another, I'm worried about 3 months, you want to know the truth. I can't take 3 months more. I understand we have many members of the Chaldean Christian community in our midst. Stand up. Go ahead, stand up. You deserve it. You've been treated pretty badly. Stand up. We're going to treat you good. You have not been treated properly. Thank you very much. Look at the love and the enthusiasm, huh? Chaldean Christians, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. No, they're great people. A man who's a very special man. He's the father to Tiffany's husband. Tiffany's going to have a baby. And she's been a great person, good student, good everything, and married this man's son, and this is a highly respected man all over the world, Dr. Masad Boulos. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Ambassador Joe Sella. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much, Joe. Here are the facts. Kamala Harris is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. You know who Pocahontas is? She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of Defund the Police. You know that? She headed up Defund the Police. And anybody who wants to defund the police for even 1 week is not worthy of being a president of the United States. Kamala Harris vowed to abolish ICE, the brave patriots, tough guys. The brave patriots of ICE, we didn't have them, would never be able to get the bad ones out of our country. They're tough, and they love our country. She vowed repeatedly to ban fracking. She wants to ban fracking in Pennsylvania and all over the country. Until about a year ago when she said, oh, I love fracking very much. As California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally non-violent crimes. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Would anybody like to give up their gun in this? Anybody would like to give up your gun? We have somebody waiting outside to grab it and then probably give it to the bad guys. The bad guys aren't giving up their guns, that way now. And endorsed a total ban on handgun ownership. She has a ban on handgun ownership. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention. She lies about everything, and don't forget McDonald's. That was a bad one to me. But on top of everything else, she wants to turn our military woke. Take a look.
Well, this is where he plays, as some of you know, the video Full Metal Jacket, which is a copyrighted movie, which we can't show. And also, during this period right here is where he shows some of the wokester transformers in the military. It's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. These people are in our military. It shows them in uniform, and they're doing these TikTok videos where they're like quick change things where they show them in their uniforms, their United States military uniform, and then they go like this and it quick changes and they're in full Transformer regalia, just being, you know, fabulous in their minds. I think it's just awful. I think it just degrades the military. My father was a soldier. My brother went to West Point, and he's a soldier still to this day. And I just know my dad would be just losing it seeing these people in our military. Like I said yesterday, I don't care what you do in your own life. Whatever you do behind closed doors. But I just don't want you ramming your cosplay down my throat. Just not interested in seeing it. And I don't think many people in America, I think this many people want to see it. And you just keep making us watch it. All right, he's back right now.
Thanks, Marine, go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, almost. Wait till I see his lips moving. It's just...
We won 2 world wars. Those wars would not have been won. We won those wars with others, but we won those wars. In conclusion, with your vote this November, we are going to fire Kamala, and we are going to save our country. We are going to save America. With your support, we will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America and right here to Michigan. We're bringing them back to Detroit. We're bringing them back to Michigan. A lot of them will come right here. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American workers. We're going to hire a lot of them. Get ready. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never started if I were president. Would have never happened. Would have never happened, the war in Ukraine. All those people that are dead, all those cities that are destroyed, all those magnificent domes, golden domes that are laying on their sides, smashed to smithereens. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III, 100%. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a large-scale, massive missile defense shield, all of it made in the U.S., much of it made in Michigan. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful once again. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our school. And we will keep men out of women's sports right away, day one. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms, our Second Amendment. After years and years of building up foreign nations, defending our foreign borders and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build our own country. We are going to take care of our own people. We will defend our borders and protect our citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope and filled with the possibility for those that want to really work hard of the American dream. We're going to have the American dream back in our country. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that simply is too big to rig. That's what we're doing right now. Early voting is underway. Get everyone you know and vote. Does everybody give me their word they're going to go out and vote? Everybody. Please. We need it. Saving our country. We need it. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. You know, this is a little bit sad because in another 11 days, we won't be doing this anymore. Hopefully, we're going to be going on to something very big. But we've had the greatest rallies, the greatest time, and really talking about very bad things, but doing it in a positive fashion. Bad things happen to our country over the last 4 years. But we've been doing this really together for 9 years. And in 11 days, we won't be doing this any longer. We'll be doing other things. But so it's a little bit sad because there has never been anything like this done in the history of our country. And probably it will never happen again. When you have a candidate in 4 years, they'll come to your beautiful Michigan and they'll bring with them about 200 people. It's not going to be like this. I'm going from here to another wonderful place. And we're going to have big crowds. There's never been any. This spirit, I don't know if it's ever going to be replicated, but I just want to tell you I love you all. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. With your help, from now until Election Day, we will redeem America's promise. We will put America first, and we will take back the nation that we love. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. I will never give in. I will never give up. I will never back down, and we will never, ever, 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 ever surrender. Together we will fight, and vote. Get out there and vote. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together we will make America powerful again. Make America wealthy again. Make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. Make America proud again. Make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Michigan. Good luck. God bless you, Michigan. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, so it's interesting that when I first started this and I was making the comparison, the analogy between about a band going on stage with a set list, and that we've all seen this, we've seen the show, we've seen the concert, we know what songs are coming, we know when the words are coming. You know, the old Leonard Skinner thing, what song is it you want to hear? You knew what was coming next. You knew it was Freebird. You always knew that was following that line. What song is it you want to hear? But every once in a while, they'll throw in the new song, which really makes the spice of a rally, the spice of an event, the spice of a concert. So today, the new song that's going to be on the new album that nobody saw coming was all of the Muslim community coming up on stage and basically pledging that they're going to be supporting Donald Trump. I didn't know that was going to happen. Probably you didn't see that happening. I'm pretty sure Rashida Tlaib and the squad didn't see that coming, but it happened. That was something none of us had seen before. So why is it that I cover these rallies? Why was I up till 2 o'clock in the morning? Why did I flip the switch and say, listen, I got to do it. You know, get something to eat, take a shower, get ready. Because that is why. And we saw something else as he's walking up stage there. You could see the man get a little bit verklempt. He loves this. He absolutely loves this. He feeds off of this. And he's like, man, I've got like 5 more rallies left, and that's it. I'm never going to do this again. I hope he reconsiders. I hope he does some presidential rallies. I hope, instead of just going into the press room, he says, I'm going to have a huge press conference. We're going to do it, at some arena or something. We're going to invite the people, let them hear the answers, bypass the press. I don't know if he's got time for that, but that to me would be incredible. Just completely ignore the media. Invite Tucker, Joe Rogan, a couple podcasters, put them up on stage, talk to them, and answer questions from the audience. Put them on the big screen if people want to log in by Zoom. Screw the White House press corps. End it. We don't need it anymore. We don't care about being force-fed their pablum. It's done. Things are going to be different. Things are going to change. Shake it all up. Burn it all down. Go full von Clausewitz, I think is what the term was in that movie. Just obliterate Washington. Take it out of the Capitol. Just take it out of the White House. Bring it back to the people. Man, if I was up in there, I'd be telling them some of this stuff. Like, dude, you don't need none of this shit. None of it. No more little podium inside this room where the people from the Washington Post and New York Times, screw them. Talk directly to the people. That's your feedback. You've learned from doing all of these rallies. When you try out the new song, when you try out the new concept that you want to put out there, if you want to put out something, hey, what do you guys think about eliminating income tax? Don't listen to MSNBC, CNN, NBC. Listen to the people. I mean, look at these people. They're mobbing him. They can't get enough. Unreal. We'll never... Why are they jumping around like that? Secret Service going a little bit nuts here. I guess they're just trying to keep people straight. They must be just losing their mind. They're trying to keep this man protected and making sure everything... Like, Don, get the hell out of here, okay? Can you scoot? Can you imagine what the security is going to be like in New York City? What they're going to have to do to make that work. Before we go, I want to show you something interesting that popped up that I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Look at this. John Fetterman, I posted this earlier. This is interesting. John Fetterman calls the intensity of support for Trump in Pennsylvania astonishing. Not good. Looks great. Astonishing. He's a senator in Pennsylvania, and he's acknowledging that this is just off the charts. She's toast. She's toast. I mean, that stuff with the Muslims is going to resonate huge. Absolutely huge. Especially now he's going to take that message into New York City. So, in the biggest city, in the biggest melting pot in the country, much more of a melting pot even than California. He's going to go into the biggest city in the United States, and damn if he doesn't, he may turn it. He may actually turn it. That would be phenomenal if he were to do so. I mean, so tomorrow, it's going to be just absolutely crazy. All right, so just to wrap up, I'm going to move the 3:30 show to 4 o'clock, and here's why. Right now, it's 2:38 p.m. He's in Michigan. He's got to get to his plane. However, they're not going to just sprint. You saw yesterday, he can get delayed. Then he's got to fly to State College, Pennsylvania for the rally today at 4 o'clock. 90 minutes transportation, it's not that far, but I'm thinking he's going to be a little bit backed up getting into Pennsylvania. So we're going to go live at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. today. We're going to take that second rally. And I'll also go over what I consider the highlights of the Joe Rogan interview from yesterday. So I want you guys go have some lunch, enjoy, some time here. We'll be back here in basically 90 minutes. Continue. You never know what's going to pop up in the 4 o'clock show. I don't know. The man is doing everything he can to basically close this deal. She's probably crying in her oatmeal at this point because she's got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let me go ahead and take some time and acknowledge these super chats. If you feel like you don't want to stay around, that is fine as well. Let's see here. Let me get these to the top of the list. You fine people. All right, here we go. Boom shakalaka boom. Where is that? The top? Yeah. Let me go back up this way. All right, here we go. Big Cat, hello Barry and everyone, you beautiful patriots. Yes to you as well. Deborah Waite, we love and support you and your family, and Trump and his family too. Also, we love all the Cunningham supporters. Thank you very, very, very much. Deborah Waite again. My husband and I are voting early for Trump. Yeah, Robin and I voted a couple days ago. It was easy, smooth. Florida's got it down. Bruce Langworthy, people give Barry a break. He does so much already. I don't mind. Hey, if that man's 78 years old, he's out there kicking it. I can definitely get my butt up as well. Gigi Kraft, Barry, you're great. Lori Solari, thank you very much. Almost missed that. Barry, you're great. You should be on Trump's staff. Your experience and insights are spot on. I think many of us, if you look at the world and step back, you can see what makes sense. And thanks for basically enduring my my trip down band promoter lane. But you saw it in real life. You saw him change the script, insert something new today, and it worked. And like I said, it was two things. That man was, he may not ever admit it, but he was verklempt. I'm not going to be doing these anymore. He loves it. I told you, that's the difference between the press conferences. He absolutely loves being out there with these people. And it's starting to set in like, win or lose, this is it. I'm done doing this. I hope he changes his mind. Talis Finney. What's that say? Talis Finney. My mom passed away and she loved Trump. And I sent this in her name. She would have loved your passion and fight. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Sorry to hear about that. Tommy Radcliffe. I have played guitar on stage with stars in front of 25,000 people for years. And Barry knows his stage shit. Mics are triple checked before we go on. I know a show. Kamala is all show. Absolutely. Tim Harrington, thank you very much. FL, I noticed a question in my voter ballot asking yes or no, do I support an amendment to change the Constitution? If you're in Florida, that amendment was to change a Constitution thing down here in Florida. It wasn't national. No name, thank you, Mega Maha. No name again. Waiting for my approval. Let me board, Captain. I'm not sure when you sent that in, but SV has been working diligently to approve people in the forum. FL again, pray God leads me to the man he created for me. After 31 years, my husband got the woke virus and transferred to a woman, and we divorced 3 years ago. I need a godly man. I'm praying for you. I'll pray for you. That's awful. Mr. B, I have to wonder how many citizen militias will pop up on the border if 45 is cheated again. We're not even allowed to discuss that here, but I hear you. Club 1852, thank you so much. I need X for Dummies, still learning. Is there a way to super chat on X? Just want to keep supporting you and your team. You've done so much. Just enjoy yourself. Just come on in the community and spread your message and put up your comments as well. And don't worry about that, man. Thank you very much for everything you've done for months. Carbingen voted Trump. New York, 2 sheets had 3 reps out of 8 Dems. Callie Ramos, thank you. No name again. Trump is the master of puppets. I see what you did there. I see what you dropped in a Metallica reference. Tommy Ratcliffe, Barry, you may have worked one of the concerts I played at a hired gun guitarist for Legends. Huge concerts. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I hated the consolidation that went into the concert world towards the end there, and everything with SFX and Live Nation taking over it. I missed the days of independent promoters. Some of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but Tommy does. No name, Scott, they use red hot chili peppers for torture at Guantanamo. I would love to hear that. Which song? No name, vote, 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 please. No name again, thank you. Vance Tulsi 2028. That could be interesting. No name, what are you doing, bro? Wait for Elon to get in Trump's cabinet. Oh, that's going to be just awesome. No name again, drain the swamp. Elon, bro, thank you, or ma'am, very much. Biscuits Boy, term limits, empty swamp. Damn, no name, you're doing it again, bro. K&D cuckold. It's not about the skin color. We're Americans and live here legally. Yeah, we saw that today, right? And all those Muslims up on stage, right there for Trump. Denise Voorhees, Barry, please cover the. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be have the tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock. No name again. As Tucker said, Daddy's home and he's pissed as hell. Mega Mama, thank you. Eva Gonzalez, thank you. Janice Marie Coleman, lines of MAGA hats waiting to vote today in Mississippi. Would they let them in wearing the hats? Because I know down here you can't wear any sort of affiliated shirt or hat. Liam Boggs, Filipino Muslim for Trump. Very nice. Ed Powell, thank you. Sherry Clem, Mary, thanks, Barry. So encouraging to hear Michigan Muslims saying God bless America. That was stunning. E plurimis unum, out of many, one. I skipped ahead there. Okay. Pao Zhao Li, getting prepared, but an AR, pew pew. Playfully never have to take it out of its case. No, you take it to the range, have some fun, get used to using it. Maga Mama, thank you, Barry and Mods, thank you very much. Cutting Edge in Pennsylvania, they discovered that at least 60% of the 2,500 voting records were fraudulent. Lots of cheating, or put it this way, lots of attempt at cheating going on. I wouldn't want to be those people. A lot of eyeballs right now. Donna, when he said I love you all, I got a lump in my throat and tears in my eyes because I know he meant it. Eva Gonzalez, you could tell he meant that. Tim Starr, Eva Gonzalez, thank you, Tim Starr. I've been with you from the start. What a journey it's been. Much love, Barry. Thank you very much, Tim. Kathleen Gray, thank you. X doesn't stream to my TV like YouTube does. You are correct. Elon is working on that. He has created an app called XTV, so that is indeed coming. And Deanna Prohl, I remember that name. Barry, your dedication to us has been incredible. All right, everybody, thank you very much, Deanna. I'm going to see you guys at 4 o'clock. I'll have some stuff about the Joe Rogan, get some clips for you to take a look at and we'll talk about, and then we'll have the 4 o'clock rally. So have some lunch, enjoy yourself. See ya in about, now it looks like a little over an hour.